So let's go ahead and jump into the training aspect, going through the 7 fundamentals and rocking it out from this perspective. So again, I color-coded these because it's really critical you get these in this order. These 2 are red for a reason. This is where most people either don't spend any time or spend just a little bit of time, and it really dictates how well your business and your online presence will do as to how well you define, articulate, and journal or think through or be able to express these 2 elements. So let me give you a little idea here. So many people, we were doing at the height of it at our big business in 96 or 2000, we were doing meetings about people getting websites, web pages back then. And they'd come in and go, I have this dream and this thing and this goal and I want to make this happen and do this. But I didn't have this discussion. In 90%, I remember thinking, this web development thing has got to go, even though we're a full internet company, because it's a pain in my rear and it's so much work. The reason it was so much work was because I didn't have the fundamental conversations. I didn't talk about this. We just kind of did what the customer did, but they didn't know. They had no idea what these things were. Most of them, they ran a successful business in this pocket and this internet thing was brand new to them. They never thought about some of the stuff that the psychology of being online versus being in person, the nuance of this. So it's really critical that we know these first 2 elements. So the very first element is you have to know your customer. And more specifically, you have to know the products, services, solutions that they're going to provide. So much like we talked about in our Starting from Scratch training, Season 3, Session 1, we have to define or help them express what they're trying to sell first. And then we break out from an online perspective, people who buy it, what are they searching for? And let me just kind of give you an illustration as we walk through this kind of abstract concept. If somebody's searching for a digital camera, like the one I'm looking at right now to see your beautiful face, the Panasonic Lumix GH5, and they want a workhorse camera that doesn't overheat. Sony's are known to overheat. Canon's can once in a while. This one ran it for 6 hours straight, never overheats. And they want to know that it has a clean HDMI output, so when they do live casts and stuff like that, that there's no garbage and controls on the screen. They might want the Lumix GH5. And so they might know that and search for, as a buyer, the Panasonic Lumix GH5. They know they want that camera, they want the best deal, they want the best value, and they go after it. So we should have in our online presence a page of content that says this is the Panasonic GH Lumix 5, just like in Amazon, they have a page for it, right? And that's for buyers. But the part that we need to understand is when people are shopping for cameras, that we have content for them. Hey, if you're picking a digital camera that you're going to use for live casting, here's a couple options. And here's why these are good. And that's for what we classify as a shopper market, right? And then there's people out there that are like, you know what, I'm thinking of buying a digital camera, I'm thinking of doing live casting, I have no idea what to do. So at a learner level, that might mean they need a list of things you need to do or things you need to consider if you're going to do a live cast. So what I'm hoping you're extracting from this is that when we understand our customer and we understand what services, solutions, or products we're going to put into the world, that we're talking to these different segments. In our training, I think it was the last training of last season, we talked about that spectrum. The lost, the learners, the shoppers, the buyers, and the customer. And we're just really trying to reverse engineer how we're going to build a healthy online presence that accommodates the learners, that accommodates the shoppers, that accommodates the buyers, and moves them along the spectrum. The reason why a lot of people do podcasts is so that they can help and educate people. And on top of that, and I'll add this in here, that people that could be your customer will know, love, and trust you because of the way you're expressing and sharing your beautiful you and your uniqueness and helping and informing them about what's possible. So I hope you're kind of seeing where this can go. It's the reason why so many YouTubers are doing so well. Because once you get in a rhythm with them, you're like, oh, I love these guys. And you feel like they're your buddies and they're your friends and they're giving you new perspective, new training, depending on what you're watching on YouTube, and new ideas and reviewing new technology or new ways of helping the world, right? So the challenge phrase you enter into the 7 fundamental conversation is, how well have you defined what you offer? And for each of your offers, how well have you defined, these are the people that are buyers. Here's what they might search for, or here's what they would need to make a buying decision. Here is what the shoppers might need to learn, to sort out, find out, to have a discussion around. Here's what the learners might need. And then the lost will automatically sort themselves out, because if I did my work here, here, and here, people are like, oh no, I don't, after I figured out what live casting was, I don't want to do that. But the learner's like, oh, okay, got it. So if I'm going to live cast, I'm going to have certain equipment. I'm going to have to learn my body's language. I'm going to have to learn how to converse on camera. Ooh, that's kind of scary, or it isn't, depending on the person. And these are the things. Oh, and Charly can help me learn physiology and energy management and do that. And he can help me set it up. And he can help me facilitate. You see how that goes through? I know my customer. I hope this helps. It's incredibly critical that you know your customer. So the very first item on here is to know your customer. And what I mean by that, again, isn't like a customer avatar per se. I always like to think of it like a customer ambition. Is like, okay, if they're going to buy these things from me, here's my offers. And here's the kind of people that are best suited for these offers. In the buyer's mindset, in the shopper's mindset, in the learner's mindset. And it comes across what our next fundamental is tied to the customer's ambition or goal.